Okay, it looks like we're on the air. So I'm Jordan Cap, and this is my informative speech for Communications 175. All right, okay. Now I'm just going to jump right in. One of the greatest things in this life is sleep. And there is a saying going around the internet these days that as an adult, I want to cash in on all the naps I refused to take as a child. Napping is one of the greatest activities you can participate in as adults. And I'm not just saying this because I work 40 hours a week and then I also go to school for more than 12 credit hours at a time. Well, I should say I'm not only saying it because of that, but those are definitely influences why I chose this topic. There was a time in our society that naps were thought of as lazy and just a way to waste time. But science has jumped on board the napping boat, and a lot of really amazing scientific evidence has come out that will help you justify why taking a nap at 2 in the afternoon is not just a good idea, but is necessary. One of the biggest problems that's currently facing our world is depression, and not just the, oh, poor me, pity party, feel sad for me. That anybody could hold a pity party at any given day. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about actual clinical depression. A study from the University of Hertfordshire sent out evidence that out of 1,000 participants who took a nap, that was over 15 minutes long, but shorter than 30 minutes, 66% of those people reported having a greater sense of overall happiness than those who didn't take a nap at all or took a nap that was longer than 30 minutes. Not only were their moods more pleasant, but they were able to avoid that midday burnout that so many of us encounter during the school or work day. The National Institute of Health released a study that showed subjects who were allowed to take a 30-minute nap help reverse the information overload and mental burnout from their daily computer tasks. Not only will you avoid your normal work/school midday burnout, but at the same time, you'll also avoid making more mistakes. NASA actually did a study on military pilots and astronauts that an astronaut and a military pilot who took a 40-minute nap once a day improved, on average, their performance by 34% and their alertness by an amazing 100% from one 40-minute nap a day. Taking naps doesn't just help those who really need to focus and be alert, such as military pilots or astronauts that I just mentioned a second ago, but they also help amplify creativity in your mind as well. Georgetown University's Center for Functional and Molecular Imaging recently released a study gathered from a research experiment where people that took a nap, the left side of the brain, known for being the more logical side of the brain, rests and is basically at peace, while the right brain only has itself to communicate with. And the right brain is known for being more creative and big picture. So it communicates with itself and it boosts its own creativity without being bogged down by the logic of thoughts. Now, granted, these ideas and thoughts that I'm throwing out there are really for your mind right now. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But not only naps are beneficial to your mental health, they actually increase your physical health. According to a press release from the European Society of Cardiology, patients who slept for 60 minutes a day, just an hour a day, had significantly lower blood pressure than compared to patients who did not take naps. The researchers said, we found that midday sleep is associated with lower 24-hour blood pressure and enhanced fall of BP at night, and less damage to arteries and the heart. The longer the midday sleep, the lower the systolic BP levels and probably fewer drugs needed to lower blood pressure. So not only does it help the blood pressure, it also helps the blood pumper, that is to say, your heart. The Harvard School of Public Health, the HSPH, and the University of Athens Medical School in Greece conducted a research experiment where they tested over 23,600 healthy men and women whose ages ranged from 20 to 86 and conducted this experiment over 6 years. So this is a long experiment with a very healthy amount of test subjects. Over 23,000 over 6 years found that people who took at least one 30-minute nap 3 times a week, so one 30-minute nap once a day, 3 times a week, had a 37% lower risk of dying from heart disease than those who didn't take their 3 siestas a week. Now, being a student, a lot of what my brain focuses on is not only learning new things, but the ability to retain what I have learned. I need all the help I can get. College and universities are always looking for ways to make sure their students are getting proper education. So it's no wonder that a university conducted an experiment that would do just that. The University of California asked its participants of this experiment to complete a challenging task at noon, complete a challenging task at noon, and then another task at 2 p.m. Half of the volunteers took a 1.5 hour nap in between the two sessions, and the other half stayed awake. The research showed that the half of the subjects who took the nap performed better in the afternoon than they did in the morning, and the people who stayed awake were even lower in the afternoon than they were in the morning. So the opposite happened. The main point that I'm trying to drive home here is that napping is amazing. And it's not for the lazy or the tired or the person who wants to run away from life's problems. Naps are the greatest things that we can do for our bodies. Naps are for everybody, not just a person who works 40 hours a week, going to school on the side. The benefits of taking naps are backed up by science. They're an amazing tool if you can use them. But if you don't believe me, go and give it a try and then tell me how you feel after.